Am I the AAH for refusing to take a DNA test to keep my inheritance? I, 25, am having a clash of morals and would like an outside perspective. When I was 13, my parents died and I was raised by my paternal grandparents. It was the easiest choice since they lived in the same area and we visited them frequently. I am my grandparents' only grandchild as my aunt. 43 is child-free, so when they passed on, they left me their house. The current value of the house is around $500,000 and it's fully paid off, so I basically have a really good head start in life, although I could never imagine selling it. Recently, I was approached by a man, 38, John, claiming to be my grandfather's son and would like a DNA test to verify it. I was shocked and didn't believe him, because that would mean that my grandfather cheated on my grandmother. He also contacted my aunt, and she recognized him as the neighbor's kid who moved away years ago. Apparently my grandparents were friends with his parents, but then one day there was a huge fight, and the couple moved away. John stated that his mom had an affair with my grandfather, and when the husband found out, he divorced his mom and they were forced to sell the house. John said that his mom's husband wanted nothing to do with him since he wasn't sure if he was the father and abandoned him. Years later, John tracked him down, and after a DNA test was confirmed that he wasn't the father, John's mom confessed that the only other possible candidate was my grandfather. John's mom insisted her ex was the father for years. My aunt lives in another country, so John has been asking me to do a DNA test so that he can finally know for sure who his father is. I was willing to do it until my girlfriend, 26, brought up the issue of ownership of the house. I did a quick check, and if the DNA test proves that John is indeed my grandfather's son, he might be able to sue for a share of the estate. If it came down to it, I would be forced to sell my home because there's no way I could buy out even 1/3 of the share if John wanted it. I contacted John and said that I would be more than willing to do a DNA test, but only under the condition that he sign away any rights or claims to the house if he's proven to be my grandfather's son via paperwork that my lawyers will draw up. I didn't hear from John for days, but then got an angry call from a woman claiming to be his wife who called me greedy and selfish, that I couldn't possibly know that pain of not knowing who my father is, and that my grandfather owes John. I hung up on her and contacted a lawyer. So far, unless John can present enough evidence to create doubt, he doesn't have much of a case, especially since the possible father is already deceased. While I'm content with never giving John what he wants until he waives his rights, and my aunt won't either, his wife has begun stalking me on social media and putting me on blast. AITA? Update. Just in case this wasn't clear and to give more info. My aunt is aware of everything and supports what I'm doing. My grandparents' will was very clear once they both passed I get the house. My aunt got their life insurance policy, we split the remainder of their savings, and sentimental items were to be given to the designated people. There was no mention of giving anything for a possible secret long-lost child. My grandparents were cremated, so John wouldn't be able to even request that my grandfather be dug up for a test. Although my aunt and I haven't told him that. I did initially block his wife, but she created other accounts. I'm an American and live in the USA.